The Young County Sheriff's Office.
This is Bobby Bullock. I've just been raped.
Somebody beat you up and raped you?
I think it was my grandson.
You think it was your grandson?
سلام، اینجا بلک ماجیکه و ما با هم پرونده‌های جنایی رو مورد بررسی و تحلیل قرار میدیم. تلویزیون روشن بود و صداش سکوت خونه رو میشکوند. شاید شما هم وقتایی که تنهایید این کار رو کرده باشید. خانم بابی چراغا رو خاموش کرد و با خاموش کردن تلویزیون به سمت اتاق خوابش رفت. نیمه شب بود که یک نفر از پنجره وارد اتاق خوابش شد و بیدارش کرد و همونطور که بالا سرش ایستاده بود گفت اومدم و طبیعتاً مثل خیلی دیگه ایشون هم سعی به مقاومت کرد اما خب موفق نشد. حدوداً 1 سال گذشت و این پرونده حل نشده باقی مونده بود تا اینکه 4 کارگاه حرفه‌ای اومدن سراغ این کیس و بزرگترین انگیزه‌شون از اینکه اومدن سراغ این پرونده برقراری عدالت بوده.
When you talk about somebody who's a rapist, this is not somebody who's likely just going to do this one time.
Once they get a taste of that, they go back for it. And that's what's so scary, and that's what I'm so excited about, that if you and I can do anything to stop one more reoffense, then we've certainly done something good here.
For sexual assault cases, because I think it is one of the most horrible things you can do to somebody. Sex shouldn't be used to damage somebody.
And sexual assault cases are very similar.
Good. Appreciate you, and I'll be checking in with y'all this week.
The main difference is that in a homicide, the family is trying to deal with the grief. And in a sexual assault case, it's the victim that has to deal with what has happened to her for the rest of her life.
توی کیس‌های تجاوز به دلیل حساسیتی که توی پرونده هست نیاز تا کارآگاه‌ها با قربانی ارتباط بگیرن.
So impressed with how strong you've been through this and your ability to keep going on. You're an amazing lady.
You were teaching music?
I was teaching music. That's all I taught at that particular time. I've done 38 years.
So pretty much you've taught everybody in this community and their mamas.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. That's why they tell me everybody knows you.
خانم بابی برای 38 سال معلم موسیقی این محله بوده و تقریبا همه بچه‌ها و پدر و مادراشون آموزش داده.
Miss Bobby, you have a very strong faith and that was something that got you through this.
I tried really hard not to let it get me down. And I still can't figure out why me.
Right. My initial thought process like who could have done this to this sweet lady.
متاسفانه قربانی‌های تجاوز زیادی هستن که میترسن از اتفاقی که افتاده به پلیس بگن یا از عواقب اجتماعی اون میترسن و اصلا خبر ندارن که همچین منابعی برای خدمت به اونها وجود داره. البته توی ایران قاعدتاً خیلی چیزا فرق میکنه و خب هممون اینو میدونیم.
I'm measuring around 5.
Okay.
I did go to bed. There was something I watched on TV. And I cut my light off and went to sleep. I woke up and this person was calling my name and said, get up. I came by to visit with you. And he was saying, get up, and he hit me. I kept asking why you want to do this to me. He kept holding on to me and kept jabbing my face. And he pulled me up out of the bed. And I told him, I said, go on and leave me alone, get out of my house. And I asked him, please don't kill me. And he said, I will kill you. And he squares my neck. And about that time, he started undressing me. Pushed me down and his penis was wrapped in some kind of plastic or something. And he was trying to penetrate. I mean, I just kept talking to him, just nice and kind, and trying to push him off of me. But I couldn't, and every now and then, you know, he'd hit the same side. But he was so wrapped one of those sock caps like. Pulled right over his face. And then had this hoodie on. I really didn't see too much. I just remember a body going through that front door. So I got up and I fell back. And finally I was able to get to my cell phone.
The Young County Sheriff's Office.
This is Dr. Glover. I just see everybody.
Somebody picked you up right there?
I think it was my grandson.
You think it was your grandson?
در 3 مارچ 2013 خانم بابی توسط یکی که صورت خودش رو پوشونده بود مورد حمله و تجاوز قرار گرفت و به گفته خودش حدس میزنه که نوه‌اش که توسط بچهش به فرزندخوندگی گرفته شده بود این کار رو کرده.
Somewhere in the back of my mind, I knew Gerard was really upset with me. And I thought maybe he had gotten so angry that he decided he wanted to be the big man of the house.
باید برای خانم بابی خیلی سخت باشه که نوه‌اش رو مظنون اصلی بدونه. فقط تصور کنید که توی این یه سال چه فضایی توی خونه‌شون بوده. البته اینم باید اضافه کنیم که جرارد یک سری رفیق ناباب داشته که اونا رو دعوت می‌کرده خونه و با هم دراگ مصرف می‌کردن و خانم بابی از اون کار خوشش نمی‌اومده. پس تا اینجا متوجه میشیم که با هم یه سری مشکلات و بحثایی داشتن، ولی مضمون‌های دیگه‌ای هم هست که با این پرونده ارتباط داشتن. فردی به اسم تینی ایمیل روز بعد حادثه به خونه خانم بابی میره و با پسرش حرف میزنه و میگه که این کار تروی بوده و ادعا میکنه که دوست اونه و رفتارش جوری بوده که میشه فهمید کار اونه. و مضمون سوم که خانم بابی توی مصاحبهش بهش اشاره کرد آلبرت جیکوب بود، چون توی مدرسه به اختلافاتی خورده بودن و به گفته خودش صدا شبیه صدای اون بود.
It wasn't a heavy voice. That's why Albert Jacobs came to mind. Because he sort of sound that way.
چیزی که ذهن‌ها رو از آلبرت جیکوب و تروی چیف دور میکنه اینه که متجاوز خانم بابی رو به اسم کوچیک صدا زده بود. بعضی جزئیات کوچیک که ممکنه بی اهمیت به نظر برسه بعضی وقتا میتونه قفل پرونده رو باز کنه. جزئیاتی مثل این که متجاوز چه بویی میداده.
There was a sweet smell, sweet like an air freshener.
و مسئله دیگه‌ای که هست اینه که متجاوز به خانم بابی گفته بود من فقط اومدم که تو رو ببینم و این سوال رو به وجود میاره که آیا قبل از ورود به خونه قصد تجاوز رو داشته و یا برای دزدی به خونه اومده و بعد تصمیم به انجام این کار گرفته.
Every victim's important. You know, we all use the phrase every victim every time, but in her case, it's something that she's just a really special person. Just a really special person.
بعد از اینکه کاراگاه‌ها تحقیقات میدانی خودشون رو شروع کردن، اولین جایی که رفتن محل وقوع حادثه بود تا بتونن تا حد امکان اطلاعات جمع آوری کنن. اولین چیزی که توجه اونها رو به خودش جلب کرد پنجره‌ای بود که مظنون از داخلش وارد شده بود. پنجره کامل نشکسته بود، یعنی مظنون برای ورود نیازی به شکستن کامل پنجره کشویی نداشته. این یعنی احتمال مظنون بودن جرارد بیشتر میشد، چون اون و تروی بودن که جثه کوچیکی داشتن. اونا همزمان داشتن از آخرین تکنولوژی وقت DNA برای پیدا کردن DNA مظنون استفاده میکردن. بعد از اینکه یه نگاهی به خونه انداختن، توجهشون به نونهایی که بیرون توی هوای آزاد ول شده بود جلب شد و کیسه‌ش هم دور و بر نبود. اونا حدس زدن که مظنون نونها رو بیرون از کیسه کرده و از اون نایلون به عنوان کاندوم استفاده کرده. دنبال یه چیزی که کاربرد کاندوم رو داشته باشه میگشته و با اینکه وسایل با ارزش زیادی توی خونه بوده، حتی پول نقد هیچی از خونه کم نشده و همه اینا نشون دهنده اینه که مظنون برای دزدی به خونه نیامده و از همون اول با قصد تجاوز وارد شده. و بعد از اون رفتن به اتاقی که خانم بابی توش مورد آزار قرار گرفته بود. روی تخت خون زیادی وجود داشت ولی چون خونریزی از خانم بابی بوده و متعلق به مظنون نبوده کمکی به روند حل پرونده نکرد. بعد از این حادثه خانم بابی مجبور شد خونه‌ای که 40 سال با همسرش توش زندگی میکرد رو عوض کنه چون اون اتاق و خونه دیگه براش غیر قابل تحمل شده بود. اوج فاجعه جایی مشخص میشه که خانم بابی بغل تخت خوابش مانیتور دوربین مداربسته بیرون از خونه گذاشته بود و هر شب اون رو نگاه میکرده و حالا اون دیگه هیچ وقت احساس امنیت نداره حتی توی خونه خودش.
When you kill someone, you take their life. And when you sexually assault someone, you take away their soul. And that's your safest place. This is your home. You feel the safest here. Yeah. Every night she lays in bed and she watches the screen. And she watches all the video cameras. And that just goes to show you that she doesn't feel safe anymore. And that's heartbreaking.
کاش فقط میتونستم بخوابم. اما من بهتر میکنه یا یه چیزی مثل فراموشی. هر چیزی که منو از این چیزا دور کنه، از این افکار زندگی‌های توی سرم. اون به مغزم تجاوز کرده. کارآگاه‌ها شروع به تحقیقات میدانی کردن. اول از همه تصمیم گرفتن برن سراغ منیجر جرارد تا ببینن اون شب جرارد کجا بوده. طبق گفته خودش اون سر کار بوده و ورود و خروجش هم ثبت شده. ولی اونا باید مطمئن می شدن که کسی به جاش اون خروج رو ثبت نکرده باشه.
You clocked in at 4:06 p.m. on March 29th, and then he clocked in a couple hours later, and it's showing him clocking out at 4:25 a.m.
Sounds about right.
Would you have ever made it up and said he was there when he wasn't?
If they weren't there, they wouldn't have been on the clock.
Right.
They were really particular with that. There were other people trying to do stuff like that at the time, like give people extra hours and stuff.
And you would have never clocked in or out for anybody?
No, ma'am.
So you ran sort of a tight ship? Well, there you go.
Thank you, Dean. Appreciate it.
بعد از اینکه اونا 100% مطمئن شدن جرارد شب حادثه سرکار بوده، یک حس خوبی گرفتن که خانم بابی توسط یکی از اعضای خانواده‌اش مورد تجاوز قرار نگرفته.
You're real tight with your grandma, aren't you?
She's been with me like my whole life. Like she's been my mama. She's like ever since I was born. She's been there. I don't see how a person can just harm her like that. That's a sweet woman. I don't see.
Yeah. Just to kind of let you know, talk to your manager at the time to verify that you were working. We know exactly where you were when this was all happening.
We pretty much have gone through the investigation, and you've been eliminated from the deal.
You know, y'all scared me, though.
I hope you feel like it's good news that we've made some progress. So
we're going to keep working real hard.
We care a lot about your grandma.
بعد از اینکه جرارد از لیست مظنون‌ها خط خورد، کارآگاه‌ها رفتن سراغ 2 مظنون دیگه. اول لازم بود تا بفهمن تروی اون شب کجا بوده و چه کار میکرده. با چند تا تماس تلفنی معلوم شد تروی اون شب توی واینز هاوس بوده که یه جوری مثل همون قهوه خونه خودمون میمونه.
Mr. Churchman?
We'll start by trying to figure out exactly where Troy Cheeves was on the night of this attack.
We were together all day long, me and Troy was. That night, went to my house, we were smoking K2.
K2 is a form of synthetic marijuana that used to be sold legally as potpourri.
When he left, there was a sweet smell.
I fell asleep that night.
When was the next time you saw him?
Probably 10, 11 o'clock the next morning.
Kyle Churchman's information about K2 might help us clear up one of the mysteries in this case, but he can only tell us part of the story about where Troy Cheeves was that night.
تروی گفته بود اون شب توی واینز هاوس مونده بود. برای اینکه اینو بفهمن رفتن تا حضور صاحب واینز هاوس رو ببینن.
At your house that day?
Yeah, he was there at my house that day.
Okay. How long did he stay there?
Right before I laid down, I looked out there and I seen him. Then I laid down for a while, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know, about 30 minutes. Then I popped back up to see was he outside.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't want nobody out there.
What time did you go to bed?
Like 9:30. I go to bed.
When you woke up the next morning, what time was it?
About 8.
About 8?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Was anybody in your house at 8 o'clock in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
So if he said he spent the night there, would that be a lie?
Yeah, that sure is a lie. Yeah, I'm willing to tell you that's a lie.
و حالا نوبت مظنون دیگه بود که ببینن اون شب آلبرت کجا بوده.
Okay. Do you remember where you were that day?
Okay, I went to AA, but nobody showed up. So I came back home. I went home, watched TV for a couple hours, went to sleep. After I came in from AA, I didn't go back out.
Did you walk back? I walked back. Okay, were you drinking a little bit?
I was pretty drunk. I was drunk enough to pass out. 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Okay.
It's messing me up. Y'all got me mixed up in it. Now, how I got mixed up in it?
Well, we can't talk about it all that. All right, man.
That's all I can tell you.
یادتونه که اون بزرگتر از اونی بوده که از اون پنجره رد بشه، پس فقط یک مظلوم باقی مونده بود. اما اونا برای محکوم کردنش نیاز به مدارک بیشتری داشتن. پس رفتن سراغ مصاحبه حضوری با تروی. یادتونه که کی تروی رو به عنوان مظلوم معرفی کرده بود؟ تینی ایمیل و باید میفهمیدن چرا اون تروی رو مظلوم معرفی کرده.
The reason why I'm gonna help Miss Bullet because she been my music teacher.
Right.
To all of my whole family, Emmanuel family.
Right.
21 of us.
Right.
Wow. I mean,
Okay. Do you remember when she was attacked?
I think the next morning, this dude, Troy, asked me to camp in Palestine. So I told him, man, look, I'm going to Palestine. You ride with me.
All right.
I knew this son of a bitch did it.
Okay. Did he ever tell you he did it?
Yeah, he told me, say, yeah, I did it.
If we had to go to court today and you testify to that, would you be prepared to do that?
Yeah. I'm not lying.
Okay. Now you gotta be 100% with me.
100%?
100%, like hand on a stack of Bibles.
I asked Troy, did you do this? He said, yeah, I done something bad. And I got to get back on that over.
کارگاه‌ها تصمیم گرفتن برن سراغ اون و همزمان شروع کردن از هم محلی‌های اون تا جای ممکن اطلاعات jam کنن.
All my life, she used to be my teacher when I was going to school in Oakwood.
Okay.
You seen Troy that day?
No.
What happens when we come to a small town is we draw a lot of attention.
Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't intend to be nosy, but is it anything to worry about?
No, ma'am. We're just talking to people.
Okay.
Did anybody talk about seeing Troy that night?
فقط نیاز داشتن به اعتراف خودش. حکم دستگیریش رو گرفتن و رفتن برای دستگیریش. ولی چند تا جا برای دستگیریش داشتن. واینز هاوس و خونه مادرش. و این چیز خوبی نبود. چون وقتی شما به محل اول برید و اشتباه نشونه گیری کرده باشید مثل آژیر خطر برای اون میمونه. توسط رفیقاش باخبر میشه و فرار میکنه. ولی بالاخره با هر دردسری که بود تونستن اونو دستگیر کنن و برای بازجویی بیارنش. ولی با هدف قبلی نگفتن. به خاطر خانم بابی دستگیرش کردن تا بتونن توی اتاق بازجویی غافلگیرش کنن و به هم بریزنش. همون موقع بود که نتایج تست DNA هم اومد و این نتایج هم تایید میکرد که تروی متجاوز داستان ماست و این کافی بود برای اینکه تحت فشار قرار بدنش و مجبور به اعترافش کنن.
And I hope it's enough to get him to talk.
So we found some DNA at Mrs. Bullock's house, and this is the profile of the individual of these two different samples. So you see all these little numbers right here, okay? And then these are profiles of people that we know. Okay, so when you start looking at it, 17 is here, 13, 20 is here, 15, 10 is there. Okay, I have 7, 8, 9, 10, 17. What does that tell you? It tells you this profile is in this evidence. Whose DNA profile is that? Right there.
Just says me.
Troy,
I don't even know how you got. What is I get that from?
That's from the evidence that we recovered from the crime scene, Troy.
I don't understand how they come out like that.
Troy, it's just like he says. The investigation clearly shows that you did. Your DNA is there, right? That's not a lie. That's science. Just like the sun rises and the sun sets, it's science.
I'm just saying, like, I don't remember doing that. I don't remember doing that, man. I know I was fucked up, but I don't remember doing that. I don't even remember breaking in the house, man.
There's no reason for that DNA to be there, right? None.
I'm realizing that, but...
So how did it get there?
Troy is right there. He wants to say it. He wants to get it.
This is your only opportunity right now to set things straight and to tell a nice lady what happened and why. To show some remorse.
Look, man, I got a bad drug problem. It's real bad, man. I want a computer so I can get some quick.
So you're waiting to get a computer?
The minute that Troy puts himself in that house, I know we got him.
She woke up or what?
She got up, man. She screamed, man. She just kept hitting me. She bit my finger. She got tired too. I hopped up, ran out the house, man. That's just, man. I don't even know what I'm saying, man. I wish I could take it back, man. I'm sorry.